Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, along with the Terrible Towel. Now, I don't want to make this video go too long, but we do got a lot to talk about. Definitely want to talk about a few things. Of course, the last week's game, the wild card game on Saturday. We'll give a little bit about that, but then we'll move on to the next game in which we're going to face the Denver Broncos. All right, so as far as the last game, some of you guys may have seen my recap video or my reflections video, so I'm not going to spend too much time there. But I definitely wanted to give huge credit to a couple guys. Ryan Shazier was playing out of his mind. 13 tackles, 2 forced fumbles. He was all over the field. He was playing like the guy that we drafted, what we'd hoped him to be when we drafted him. Kind of playing like he played against the 49ers earlier in the year. And it's like Coach Tomlin said today in his press conference, Ryan Shazier's availability and his health and what have you is going to dictate, how much we're going to get out of him and his growth. The arrows pointed up, like Coach Tomlin likes to say. He's going to dictate that by being available, staying on the field. Now, also, Bud Dupree was playing out of his mind. You might not see it as much. Some people don't watch football as a whole like I do. Not saying I'm special. There's a lot of people who analyze it the same way. But I look at everything. If a guy has 2 or 3 tackles, it may have been huge tackles, and I would say he had a nice game. But just using that as an example, Bud Dupree was doing a lot against the run, getting a lot of penetration, forcing, McCarron to throw the ball faster than he wanted to. A lot of that stuff was happening. Bud Dupree was a big part of that. Steve McClendon also was doing a great job with penetration. Of course, Cam Hayward comes up with a nice play in which he seems to do on a weekly basis. And then, of course, Martavis Bryant. Come on, that catch. What was that? That is what I'm talking about. You guys have heard me say before and before and before again. This guy, in order for him to be an elite receiver, he's going to have to make those type of unbelievable plays, the unbelievable catches that you would expect a great talent to make. And he has the ability to do it. Ben Roethlisberger actually said that the sky is the limit for this guy. He is so talented that he doesn't even realize how talented he is. That's coming from Ben Roethlisberger. Now, speaking of Ben Roethlisberger, maybe he needs to call Martavis Bryant out every week because he's going to show up like that. And not just that touchdown catch, which was amazing, the split-second decision for him depended on himself, on his hamstring or what have you. But even, the play that he made on the end around, just getting in and out of situations. He makes a cutback, makes another cut, and then he's off to the races. And Dre Kirkpatrick did an outstanding job with his pursuit. I'm actually going to talk about that in another video. Great pursuit. He knew he was beat, but he did what he had to do to get to the spot to avoid the touchdown. Like I said, I will mention that in another video, but just wanted to, highlight those guys who did a phenomenal job in the game, was able to get us a win. We got out of that stadium. What a game it was. It was just crazy. And you guys already know the history. I don't even have to go into all of that. The perfect situation and Pac-Man Jones. We're not going to revisit that, but what a crazy game for the most part. So moving on, man, to this coming challenge. This week's upcoming challenge, I guess you would say, against the Broncos. It's going to be very tough. First and foremost, not because of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning still has to show us what he has. Let's not forget, this guy hasn't had the best season passing the ball. 17 interceptions. He's coming off of an injury. Could be a little rusty. Didn't do a whole lot in the game against San Diego, but he does dictate the offense. He definitely has a, cerebral presence that we're going to have to definitely look out for. Our defense needs to step up, and they need to be ready for that. But their defense, I'm sure is going to come to play in their home field, on their home turf, in that city, with the aptitude and all of that. It's going to be a tough challenge for us. Now we're finding out that Ben Roethlisberger has some torn ligaments in the shoulder. He's iffy at best. We don't know what's going to happen there. If we got to go in that game with Landry Jones, I don't like our chances. I do not like our chances. Antonio Brown, I'm hearing, it's rumbling saying that his situation is not looking good. It's not looking good, man. If that's the case, it definitely is not looking good for us as a team. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, we did beat Denver earlier in the year, a few weeks back, but this is the playoffs. And like I said, we're not going to be at home. We're not going to have that home energy. And we're going to be with the Ben Roethlisberger that's not 100% if he plays at all. We could potentially be without Antonio Brown. Seems like we're going to be without D'Angelo Williams again, even though I like Jordan Todman. I definitely like Fitz Toussaint. Those guys did a great job in the game last Saturday. But still, anytime you're down men, you have to be concerned. And like I said, guys, there's not a whole lot to talk about in these last weeks or so, however long we're going to still remain here in this season. That's all I really got for you as far as the upcoming game. I don't know. That's my assessment. I think if we go in there with Landry Jones, I don't see us having a chance. I really don't. Landry Jones, I'm not comfortable with him against that pass rush and that back end. Definitely not comfortable with that. He wasn't in the game longer than 5 minutes on Saturday and he threw an interception. We can't have that. We can't have that. Of course, defense helps to win championships. If our defense can step up and play a solid game like they did pretty much against the Bengals, we could be okay. The first half, I'll say 3/4 of that game, we did a great job. We did break a little bit in the second half, but that's how it's going to go in the NFL, for one. For two, we all know we're still not a powerhouse defense. That's a shutdown defense. So what do you expect? I didn't expect us to get out of that game without giving up any points or any long passes. It's going to happen. We just got to be a little more consistent. So if we can get solid defense like we played in this first part of the game against the Bengals here last Saturday and the second half that we played against the Broncos, we could be okay. But it's all going to come down to our offensive production at this point. Like I said, an injured Ben Roethlisberger, if he plays, might not be able to throw the ball where he wants it to go. Could take another shot in the game, re-injure the shoulder or aggravate it. It seems like Landry Jones is probably going to have to play. Who knows? Could be Michael Vick. We don't know. But with all that being considered, I don't have a good feeling about this week. I'm proud of the team. I have a little bit of confidence in the fact that we could beat them because we did beat them. And maybe Peyton Manning playing is actually better than Osweiler at this stage of the season. I don't know. What scares me the most right now is we're not going to have the offensive weapons or the offensive firepower that we're going to need. And that's a concern. Not even just this week. Let's say we get past this week. Then what's going to happen next week? So I don't know, guys. It seems like the road could be getting closer to being the end of the road, but we'll see what's going to happen. But guys, that's all I got for you today, man. Not really a whole lot to talk about. Please leave your thoughts. Leave your comments. Let me know how you guys feel about this week. What do you predict is going to happen and things of that nature. And I'm also going to address the Burford situation as far as his suspension in another video as well. I don't want to keep these videos so long. So that's why I'm splitting up a lot of these videos. But anyway, guys, you know the drill. Hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And I thank you guys for coming by. So like always, let me know what you think. Here we go, Steelers. Once again, guys, thanks for coming by. And if you want to interact with me live, head on over to Sim Standard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. The call-in number for the show is down in the description. Now, of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. And before you go, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys. Until next time, lights out.